Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Jesus never turned water into wine. This is gonna blow your mind. Jesus spoke all things to the crowd in parables. Matthew 13:34. It's a symbolic and allegorical story about you turning water into wine. Fire is masculine. Water is feminine. Masculine is intellect. Feminine is emotion. Water is symbolic for emotion. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotion is the language of the soul. Emotions are communication from your soul. If you are jealous of someone, this is your soul telling you where you need to be in life. Every fear you have is showing you an obstacle for you to grow, to expand into your life purpose. Water into wine is symbolic in turning negative emotions into growth and expansion, transmuting hate into love, jealousy into your reality. Jesus represents you, a manifestation of God's consciousness in physical form. Jesus tells you, whatever I can do, you can do better in John 14:12. Jesus is you. Baptism is symbolic of moving from earth into water, the second stage of consciousness, truth. Dunking your head in water won't do anything. Baptism happens within. Dreams carry secret messages, and you can take advantage of them. You have two minds, a conscious and a subconscious. When we sleep, we move from the conscious into the subconscious, moving from the physical into the astral. The astral plane is the imagination, a screen we have in our mind, and our subconscious stores every belief and memory. The people in your dream are not real people. Dreams are materializations of your subconscious mind. Every person you meet and every place you go are a materialization of your beliefs and memories. So if you have a nightmare, this is just a materialization of your negative thoughts and worries. For example, if a Christian has a dream and he sees Jesus in his dream, this was not Jesus. It was his subconscious belief materializing in the astral plane. Write down your dreams every time you have one, and you can start to see what your subconscious is trying to show you, and you can take advantage of this. But whatever you do, never look into a mirror in a dream. Today is a full moon, and this is why I don't eat or scroll on my phone on this day. The sun is our conscious mind. The moon is our subconscious mind. Just like the moon phases have these cycles, so does our consciousness. We go through mood swings and different emotions and thoughts all the time. If you didn't already know, your subconscious mind controls 90% of your daily basis thoughts and actions. The new moon is when your subconscious mind is mainly closed. However, a full moon is when the subconscious mind is more accessible during this phase. This is the best time to reprogram your subconscious and break your old habits. I don't do anything that is highly addictive on this specific day. Instead, I use my conscious mind to think, feel, and imagine my specific reality that I want on this day. And this will impress this reality on my subconscious. And my subconscious will start to believe I've already got the reality, which will then create effect in my external reality. This is why you always see witches with a full moon behind their head, because this is the best time to do a ritual of implanting new seeds into your consciousness so they can grow into a beautiful reality. And this is also the reason why you always get good ideas at nighttime, because the daytime is survival mode, it's conscious. The nighttime's our subconscious imagination. The sign is not the devil horns, it's the moon crescent. Moon is mood, which is emotion. The moon crescent on top of the head symbolizes emotion ruling over our mind, our body, our life. Devil is red because the red is the lowest vibrational color. And this is you when you are operating your life in your animal nature. The devil is the ground animal, the lower self. The bird is the angel, which is the higher self. See the man standing on the moon. This represents conquering the emotion, and they no longer govern your life. Your emotions change all the time, and this is symbolized as the moon phases. Money rules your emotions, and this is why money has moon within it. A demon is actually your emotions. God and the devil exist within yourself. It's a battle between your higher mind and lower mind, between the five senses and your mind, your consciousness. Religion has externalized the truth, so they keep you in your animal nature. Ever wondered why your middle finger is considered swearing? There's a hidden element that they've hid from you called ether. 5 points on the body, 5 elements. 5 fingers, 5 elements. They demonized your middle finger because it's ether. But what exactly is the ether? Ether is like the blueprint to all physical creation. They covered up the ether by calling it dark matter. It's where all energy comes from and returns back to. Think of it as an eternal water of life feeding everything with energy. Yes, the ether can provide free 0-point energy, but that is not the biggest secret. The biggest secret about the ether is that our minds can manifest whatever we project into it into a reality. This is what the Matrix is showing you with these codes. You can change the codes to reality by changing your inner consciousness. The ether acts as a barrier from the imagination plane, astral, into the physical plane. Just look at the words that we use. Together. Ether. There's so much. You don't need caffeine, you need charging. You are an electromagnetic battery, and you have no energy because you're not charging your field. This is the force that gives you energy and life. This will give you electromagnetic energy because it's charged by the electromagnetic sun and grows out the electromagnetic earth. Coffee doesn't give you energy. The energy levels you get off coffee is the side effect of the toxic reaction it has with your body. It's a short-term effect that gives you fake energy. Real energy comes from grounding, the sunlight, and eating electromagnetic food. Coffee is toxic for your nervous system. They'll teach you about minerals and vitamins, but never tell you the most basic thing about the human body is that it runs off electricity. It's a technological machine. Why is it Freemasons always place the East at the top of their artwork? I'm going to decode the symbolism for you. At the bottom of the painting, we have checkered board floors. This is the base. This is the beginning. Black is material. White is spiritual. The physical world is made by spirit and matter combined. This represents the beginning of the Mason's journey when he lives in illusion and identifies himself with the physical body. Now, this is why you see the checkered floor in music all the time, because they're using music to produce illusions. This is a blueprint to produce a temple, and these are the tools to create the temple. Not a physical temple, a temple within our own mind. These tools represent the tools to reconstruct our inner world, to change our belief system, limiting beliefs and mental blockages. We must build a temple in the three aspects of our consciousness: thought, emotion, action. Once we have reconstructed and built a temple of moral law and integrity and changed our belief systems within our own mind and consciousness, we can then start the journey to enlightenment. This ladder is the ladder of climbing to higher consciousness, going from the illusion of the material world up to enlightenment and understanding higher levels of reality. And no, I'm not a Freemason, I've just studied their symbols. When you can read symbolism, it will change. Check this out. Santa is Satan. So this is Santa with the reindeers, and this is the god Saturn, also known as Saturno. The Roman god Santa is always depicted with a long grey beard, holding a scythe in his hand because he's the god of harvesting and time. In ancient Rome, they celebrated something called Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to the god Saturn. And this took place in December, just like Christmas. The summer times governed by the sun, the winter times governed by Saturn. Summer is life, the winter is death. December and winter is when the most deaths occur. So many people die in December. This is when Saturn harvests the souls. Christmas is actually Saturnalia, which is a celebration of death. Don't you think it's weird how we celebrate the winter death instead of having a celebration in the summer life? Symbolism literally doesn't lie. The word Saturn is Satan. Now, of course, Saturn is not a real human with a long beard. This is all symbolic. Twin Towers are an 11. Flight 11 was hijacked. New York is the 11th state. There were 11 crew members on the flight. 9/11 adds up to an 11. New York in gematria adds up to 111. Freemasonic pillars are an 11. With the black and white checkered board, black and white add up to 11. 11, 11. Black is matter, white is spirit. Was this just a Masonic ritual? I'm not making any claims, but I'm just pointing things out. Why is it the ancient gods all carry this bag alongside with a pine cone? Even the Pope carries a pine cone. Vatican has the pine cone with the dome. Bags are the carrier of things and they can be passed on, and it's always carried in their left hand. In the Kabbalah, the right represents wisdom, the left represents knowledge. This represents the carrier of secret knowledge of how to activate the pine cone. The left is the knowledge, the right is the applied knowledge, wisdom. Pine cones can be open or they can be closed. Pine is pin, which is the pineal gland, a spiritual gland in the brain which acts as an antenna for our consciousness. You have a physical body and a spiritual body, but most humans are stuck in their physical form. This bag is the secret knowledge of how to activate our spiritual body by activating our pineal gland, going from asleep to awakened, from darkness to the light, from hell to heaven. Pineal gland is not the third eye. Pineal gland is an antenna, a receiver of consciousness. The mind is the third eye. I have a free guide of activating the inner eye on my website. This guide contains teachings from my university. I'm looking for... So we're doing a giveaway. We're giving away the Book of Wisdom Volume 2 and the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 together. There's going to be 5 lucky winners who win both books. All you have to do to enter this competition is to tag 3 friends, add this video to your story, like this post and like my story, and that's how you will win the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 and the Book of Wisdom Volume 2 on December 25th, Christmas Day. Good luck to you all. They are trapping your soul in the earth. It's a soul system, not a solar system. We start in the stars and we descend through the 7 planets, which give you the 7 chakras, the 7 colors, 7 days of creation, the 7 days of the week, Saturday for Saturn, Monday for the moon, Sunday for the sun. This is where we come from, unconditioned consciousness. Our consciousness falls and conditions into these states to be created in this world. Each one of us is a star. Hue, man, light manifested in physical form. That's why we say sister, mister, monster, stir is star. And when you're famous, you're a star. Ancient paintings of Jesus show a star being descended down. Now you know the real reason why Paramount show the stars descending down, going to the mountain. Freemasons show the path back to the stars. Each one of us is God experiencing himself in a divided state. But the archons in this world brainwash your mind to trap your soul in here. When you learn the language of symbolism, your life will completely change. Adam and Eve is a sexual story. When we are born, we have a pure consciousness, and we have no ability to reproduce life. As we grow older, we gain the power of creation. Our sexual energy is activated and turning us into an adult. We gain the ability to produce life, and this sacred power can be misused, as it is a sacred force within you. Eve is feminine, she's the emotion. Adam is masculine, he's the action. The serpent is the deceiving sexual urge. This is a symbolic story of how we lose pure consciousness and we gain the consciousness of good and evil. Our consciousness splits into the ego and the shadow, into the higher and the lower self. But this is not bad. It's a natural cycle of human consciousness. But we need to wake up from it and find our way back to the Garden of Eden. Don't lose yourself in material lust and material pleasures. They'll leave you feeling empty and unsatisfied. Instead, save your sexual energy, master your mind and control your emotions. And don't let external things control your inner world. And that's how we find our way back to the Garden of Eden, reaching a pure state of consciousness. Meanwhile, knowing the knowledge of good and evil. The Bible is the greatest psychological text ever written. Pope is opening 5 portals. These are the locations of them. Connecting the dots of these locations creates the sigil of Lucifer. This is going to blow your mind. Sigil of Lucifer is your brain's visual field with the eyes. You don't see into reality. Light enters the eyes and an image is produced in your brain. Everything outside of you is just energy. Your brain turns it into a reality you can interact with. These rituals are all to do with perception. That's why he's opening 5 doors for your 5 senses. 5 points on the body, 5 toes, 5 fingers. 5 is the portal that connects spirit with matter, consciousness interacting with the material world. The Pope is not opening spiritual portals for demons. This was all a psyop. The portal they're opening is a negative portal in your own mind. This ritual was to create fear in our minds to make us project it into the reality, because the physical world is just an externalization of our inner consciousness. By planting fear in the collective minds and projecting this reality to keep us distracted. This is what Lucifer is. Lucifer is you, your consciousness, your divine self, falling for the material tricks. Mate tricks. This is just another distraction to install fear into your mind. Freemasons worship a secret god, and this is the name of him. I'm going to decode this symbolism so you can understand it. This represents God's consciousness, and it streams down to 4 sections for the 4 bodies of God. A lion, a bull, a man, and an eagle. These are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. Taurus the bull, Leo the lion, Scorpio the eagle, Aquarius the man. You see this in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The man, the eagle, the lion, and the bull surrounding Jesus. The 4 fixed signs represent the 4 bodies of consciousness. Aquarius is an air symbol, which is the mind. Taurus is an earth sign, which is the body. Leo is a fire sign, which is the spirit. Scorpio is a water sign, which is the emotion. This is God's consciousness streaming down to Yahweh. Yahweh, the name of God, means I am. God's consciousness goes to I am. I am goes into the 4 bodies of your consciousness. The body, the mind, the spirit, and emotion. Every single one of us are an extension of the divine presence of the universe. Jesus actually represents you, a manifestation of God's consciousness. Stop worshipping Jesus and embody his qualities into your life so you can live like God. The church has just muddled this up and created a religion so you give away your power. The secret God of the Freemasons is the self. This is why they all focus on self-mastery to achieving high states of consciousness. Why is it the Vatican shows so many snake symbols? Even the Pope uses this. Even Alfa Romeo uses this symbol. This is why Eve gets tempted by a snake. Snakes represent sexual energy. This energy cultivates and transforms your child body into an adult, and it can transform you into a god. In order for creation, there must be destruction. Every time you release, you're giving your life force to create another life. You give a part of your soul to create another life. Your sexual energy is the power of creation. You can save it, cultivate it, and activate your kundalini, which will then activate dormant brain cells, allowing your brain to process information with more efficiency and faster. Or you can save it and redirect it into other aspects of your life. Critical thinking, manifestation, and chasing your goals. Sexual emotions are the most powerful emotions you could possibly feel, but don't let the snake eat you, because this is what stops you from reaching high states of consciousness and stops you from reaching your highest potential and creating abundance in your life. This is symbolic of giving in to our sexual urges, which make us fall from the Garden of Eden, our highest potential of human consciousness. Don't fall for the illusion of the material pleasures. We need to stop misusing the power of creation. I've noticed something a bit strange about these LA fires everyone's been tagging me in. The first weird thing that I noticed is that insurance companies dropped fire coverage 3 months before the fire started. And many people have reported electrical wires from the power grid causing these fires. And of course, the water supply has been cut off. And don't you think it's a bit weird in this picture that all of the trees stay standing but the houses aren't? Of course, this is for educational purposes only, and I'm not claiming anything. And then we go to Google and type in 2028 Smart LA City. What a coincidence they want to build a smart city in LA. And of course, it's a lot easier to build a whole city if there's no buildings there. Of course, this is just for educational purposes only, and I hope everyone is safe over there. Thank you. Did you know the only difference between water and ice is a state of vibration? Now think of your desired reality. The only difference between your desired reality and your current circumstances is a state of consciousness. You can become the reality you want before you physically have it. If you observe closely, it's not actually the job that you hate. It's the emotion, the thoughts, and the state of consciousness that job makes you feel. Therefore, it's not the job that you want to change, it's the state of consciousness. By using our thoughts, emotion, and imagination, we can become the reality in a state of consciousness before physically having it, and watch your outer world rearrange itself to match your new state. Think about this. Your life is a direct correlation of every thought you thought in the past. which means your world is an externalization, a materialization of your thoughts and mind. Most people live in a cycle of the external world manipulating their inner world, not realizing their inner world is projecting the outer, which produces a cycle of constant negative manifestation. But when we stop, when we change our inner world and we act, think, feel as if we are already living from the wish fulfilled, that's how we produce effect in the material world. I found some secret codes in the Bible. The Bible contains numerology, and in Revelation 14, it states 144,000 will go to heaven. 144 adds up to 9. The 9th letter in the English alphabet is I. God's name Yahweh means I am. This is our body. I is our consciousness. 9 is the number of consciousness. Let's take it deeper. The lamb standing on Mount Zion. The lamb represents Aries. Aries rules the head, and this is the lamb horns in our brain. Holy Mount Zion is our spine. The lamb is on top of Mount Zion with the 144,000, which is 9, which is consciousness. And they had the Father's name written on their forehead. Our forehead is where our consciousness is. 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth represent the ones who found their consciousness. 144,000 sang a new song. New song is a new state of awakened consciousness. Sing a new song. Awaken to your consciousness, not your body. Heaven is a state of The number one mistake people make is that they take people's hate personally. You must understand that people's hateful comments are just reflections of their negative state of mind, their negative state of consciousness. I'm hated by millions of people, and if I took it personally, I wouldn't be here today. Please don't let other external things manipulate your internal world. If you can change your inner world to feel a certain thing, you can produce effect on your outer world. So don't let no one change your inner world. That's how powerful you are. You have the ability to create your own world. You yourself are a miniature world, a whole universe in a body. The outer world is lifeless and mechanical. It cannot sustain itself. The only true reality is what exists in your consciousness. The outer world is simply a mirror reflecting with mathematical precision the inner state of your consciousness. What you embody within your consciousness shapes and experiences your external world. You are the creator. You are the projector. You are the light. This is why the Bible says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God." The beginning was not the word with vibration. The beginning of all creation was the inner mental dialogue, the inner voice. That's the true you. That's the voice that will exist before here and after here. We are not in 2025. Month comes from the word moon, moonth. The moon has a 28-day moon cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. 13 lunar cycles every year, which means our calendar has a missing month, which means we don't know what year we're actually in. This is gonna blow your mind. The sky is a clock. The sun tells the time of the day. The moon tells the day of the month. The stars tell you the month of the year. The sky above our head is intelligent. Everything on earth is matter. Everything above us is spirit. That's why they're floating. They're not rocks you can land on. The Gregorian calendar was made for slaves. Calendar comes from calends. The first day of the month, the Romans had to pay off their debt. So what does all of this actually mean, and why did they do it? They made this fake calendar to cut off our connection with our celestial intelligence above and keep our mind, body and spirit out of rhythm with these cycles. We must live in harmony with the cycles above. Do you know your heart is not actually a pump? The heart is in the shape of a chestahedron, a 7-sided shape where all of the surface areas are the same. Placing a chestahedron in water creates a vortex in the water, and your heart tissues is in a vortex spiral. Your heart is actually one muscle but wrapped in a spiraling vortex form. This is because your heart is a vortex energy generator. Blood enters the heart and creates a vortex spiral inside of the heart. Your heart turns water in the blood into plasma, the 4th state of water, which they'll never tell you about. Plasma makes up approximately 55% of your blood. The earth is electromagnetic. The reason why heart rearranged is earth is because the heart takes the electromagnetic energy of the earth and turns this into plasma in the blood to run the physical body. Your heart is directly connected to the universe, to the electromagnetic energy of the earth. This is why we always see Jesus pointing at his heart. Your heart is inside of the chest. This is where the treasure is, inside of the heart. Your heart contains 40,000 neurons, which is the exact same cells in your brain. The heart is the emotional brain which gives you guidance. It tells you what is right and what is wrong. This is why we say follow your heart. Why is it the ancients always wore silver? This is gonna blow your mind. Your brain and your body is a bioelectric system. Your body is basically a technological machine which serves as an interface that allows consciousness to interact with the 3D world. Your body's flow of ions and electrons helps to ensure that your body's bioelectric machinery operates harmoniously and supports vital functions, which is why the ancients wore silver and precious metals, because they enhance the flow of ions and electrons, which can enhance the flow of electricity within your body, making your brain to process information quicker. You are an electromagnetic machine. The human body is a battery. This is why we have to charge ourselves constantly with energy. Silver is said to be one of the best energy conductors. Silver has the ability to minimize electrical resistance, which improves cellular communication and energy flow. This is the original reason why humans used to wear jewelry, not to enhance our looks, but to enhance the functions of our electrical bodies. If you have neck, wrist, or ankle pain, you would wear a specific metal around this area. Physical is phi cycle. The phi symbol is the Taurus field. We live in a cycle of an electromagnetic field. Birth, growth, decay, and death. Spring, summer, fall, winter. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Everything comes out of the ether and returns back to the ether. That's why death has ether within it, because your soul came through the ether and then you will return back through the ether, back to your astral light body. Your soul goes back to the ether every night when you go to sleep. That's why sleep is the cousin of death, because sleep is just a microcosm of this macrocosm cycle. Day and night, summer, winter, everything is just a cycle of the atom and how energy works. That's why blood leaves the heart and returns back to the heart. Just like how the heart's energy field leaves the heart and goes back to the heart. The heart is an infinite energy source. Heart rearranged is ether. Your heart speaks the language of the universe, energy. You never actually die, your soul lives forever. However, we need to detach from every addiction we have before we die. There's a secret code behind every ancient Christian painting. You're probably not going to be a Christian after watching this. When we add spheres to each one of these points on this Holy Trinity painting from the 1600s, what it actually shows is the Kabbalah tree. This is literally undeniable. You cannot not see it once you see it. Religious texts are encoded esoteric scriptures. In fact, every religion we have today stems back to the secret teachings of the Kabbalah. You think you're the body. We are not our body. We are not our thoughts. We are the soul. We have a soul, mind, and body. Jesus is the body. The Father is the mind. The soul is the Holy Spirit. TikTok's getting banned because they no longer want the middle class. They want the rich and the poor. That is it. They have stripped away millions of people's businesses who earn an income from this app and this app alone. They want to remove all small businesses and bring in all major corporations to rule everything. This is what's going on. And guaranteed over these next 5 years, you will see millions of small businesses being shut down because the middle class, that's what they're coming for. There's a secret meaning behind 666. 666 is 3 sixes. 3 represents the 3 aspects of creation and consciousness. Thoughts, emotions, and actions. These 3 things have created your life. This is where it gets scary. The number 6 represents the cube. And this material world is created in cubes. Forwards, down, up, backwards, left, and right. 6 represents the material world. 666 represents your thought, emotions, and actions all going towards your material body and material pleasure. Cutting yourself off from spirituality. Red is the slowest vibrational frequency, and it represents chaotic and intense emotions like hate and anger. You are the devil. It's not a real person. It's the lower aspects of the human mind. The voice we hear in our head that tells us to do bad things is not the devil. It's an aspect of your mind. He has a goat head. Goats are ground animals. They represent the lower self. Angels have wings, which represent the higher self. 3 meals a day is keeping you stuck in your lower 3 energy centers, trapping your body in survival mode. It's important that we fast. When we fast, our body starts to eat itself and kill all the bad cells. If you have issues with your body, listen up. If you cut your finger, your body heals it and produces a scab. If we keep picking the scab, it will never heal. Your body's issue is not healing because it's fighting off the toxins that you place in it every single day. Instead of fighting the problem with your body, it's fighting off the poison you keep placing in it. If you avoid unnatural food, the body will then start to fight off the problem that's already in it. This is why fasting is important. Our digestion uses a lot of energy. Fasting allows the energy used for digestion to be redirected to fight off the problem. The human body is made with self-regenerating technology. If you want to heal fast, cut out all the unnatural GMO foods and go on an alkaline diet. P.S. This is not health advice, this is what I do personally. The sun is electric, the moon is magnetic, male and female, fire and water. The sun gives you energy, it's a positive charge. The moon is negatively charged, taking away your energy, yin and yang. The earth is darkness, it produces no light of its own. All of the light comes from above, from the etheric and astral plane. The earth is matter, above is spirit. The sun is floating because it's in the etheric plane. As above, so below. All the life comes from above. That's why all religions stem back to the worshipping of the stars. Because the material plane is only alive because of the etheric life force. That's why Jesus is the risen savior. He is the sun with the 12 disciples, 12 zodiac signs. And the sun raises every day and saves you. Jesus was not a real person, but an astrological code. This is why the church tells you not to do yoga. The nervous system stores emotional trauma. For example, you're in a car crash. Just before you crash, your body starts to tense up in the anticipation for the impact. The nervous system stores this tension, and your nervous system has stored every sensation you've ever had. Over time, all of these tensions can manifest into a physical problem such as back pain, joint aches, and even disease. Yoga is highly effective from releasing stored trauma from the nervous system before it can manifest into any problems. You know that amazing feeling you get after stretching? That's all of your trauma and negative energy being released from your nerves. Yoga does not open demonic doors into your consciousness. It's just another fear that the church installs to you, so you stop increasing your consciousness. Human is hue-man. Hue is an attribute of a color. Color is light. Hue is light, man is manifested. We are light manifested in physical form. We are holographic electromagnetic beings. Heart rearranged is earth. The heart chakra is green and the earth is green. And the sky is blue and the throat chakra is blue. You're not a body inside of a universe. You are the universe experiencing itself, a microcosm form. Nothing is separate from you. You are all things. Religion has just externalized these teachings. They tell you that the sun hurts you, but they don't tell you that the old hospitals used to have sun decks, because the sun detoxifies you by giving you electromagnetic energy. They tell you about the magnetic fields of magnets, but they don't tell you about the magnetic field around your body. Disease shows up in this field before it manifests physically in your body. The sun is electric, the earth is magnetic, and you are electromagnetic. This is why the ancients had grounding shoes to ground to the magnetic earth. Canes were not just for fashion, they were used for conductors of electromagnetic energy to ground the body to the earth. Now we wear sunglasses to block the sun's healing rays to entering our nervous system. We have lost true connection with our true nature, been turned into a... I will never recover from these images that I've just found. Giants definitely existed. Take a look at the size of these people only around 100 years ago. Now imagine the size of these people around 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. They would have been 10 times bigger than this. The oxygen levels were way higher 1,000 years ago, so just imagine the size of these people. Now what I'm going to show you at the end is going to blow your mind. I think these people were purposely wiped out. Why do we not see them now? What happened to their genetics? Why have they not reached this generation? One thing that you may have not noticed, which is the fashion these people are wearing. Why has humanity lost their sense of beauty and classiness? I have yet to see one obese person in any of these images, which is absolutely crazy. They all look healthy, well-informed, and well-mannered. Humanity has truly lost their ways. Now take a look at this. Maybe this is why the Egyptians showed giant people in their artwork, and maybe their statues were the true size of these humans. I thank you all for being part of this journey. I've now hit 1 million followers on TikTok. There are 3 aspects of your consciousness: thoughts, emotions, and actions. If you align them all towards your goal, I dare you to drink tap water after watching this video. This is absolutely insane. You might just want to show this to your friends and family to raise awareness. You might just save someone by showing them this video. Planets are not spinning balls in space. They are lights within the firmament. The 7 planets give you the 7 chakras, the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week: Monday for the moon, Saturday for Saturn, Sunday for the sun. That's why Christians celebrate their God on Sunday, because Jesus is the sun. 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs. Sun is your soul. Jesus is the soul inside of you. Jesus represents universal consciousness made human, which is you. 7 planets are the 7 energies that create this universe. 7 days of creation for the 7 planets. The roots are made by Saturn, the leaves are made by the moon, the fruit is made by Jupiter, the stem's made by the sun. Everything in the universe is governed by a celestial body. They worship Saturn because Saturn rules time. Saturn is all about conditioning. The stars are inside of you, they are aspects of your consciousness. You are heaven and earth brought together, spirit and matter. The soul system is within you, these are the energies of the soul. Your body's a universe and your consciousness is God. Revelation 1:20, the 7 stars are the 7 angels of the churches. Can't land on a planet, they are luminous, they are lights, and they exist within you. Why is it that they covered the hole on top of the Sphinx head? This is why the Pope wears the cap, because when you are born, you have a hole in your cranium. As we get older, this hole shuts. We need to open the window to the Most High. We do this by mental and spiritual awareness. Your body is the temple. God does not dwell in temples made by human hands, which is the body. That's why the side of the head's called the temple. And the kingdom of God is within you. You receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. Spirit means breath, which is the kundalini energy, to open the pineal gland and open the window to the Most High. Just like Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness. Snake is the kundalini, the wilderness is meditation. Stop taking the Bible literally. It's written in metaphorical code for you to upgrade your consciousness. If God was in the sky, he would have changed this messed up world by now. God is the mind, the creative life spark within you. What you are seeing here is the magnetic power of fire. Every one of these candles represents you, an electromagnetic machine. Your magnetic emotions influence your environment. Strong magnetic charges like attractiveness, charisma, and confidence are felt. Weak magnetic charges are also felt, such as stress, anxiety, fear. Your heart is emanating and radiating your emotions. Your heart is also a receiver of energy. This is why you can feel other people's energy. You can feel their vibe, their vibration. You know if someone is a bad influence or not just by being in their presence. So the word of the day is work on your inner self and you will become a highly magnetic being. They tell you that tree hugging is weird, but they don't tell you that trees emit electromagnetic energy. Trees emit a frequency of 200 hertz, which makes you feel grounded, stable, and confident just being around trees. This is why the forest is for rest, because it strengthens your electromagnetic aura, which can heal your body and protect you from infections. Maybe this is the reason why there are less trees in a less income area, and there are more trees in a richer area, because they want to keep the mass population of the poor people sick, the rich people thriving in health. Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. Every action you take on your phone is recorded in a vast database. These actions originated from your mind. Your phone has become a digital manifestation of your spiritual mind. That's why they're called an iPhone, the I. When you refer to I, you're referring to the inner self, the observer behind your body, thoughts, and emotions. These phones have been used to track our consciousness, which has created AI. As a society, we have collectively infused our minds into these tracking devices like phones, tablets, and computers. They have merged all of our actions, behaviors, and preferences collected in this database to create an artificial consciousness. We are the organic consciousness from God, trying to create an artificial consciousness that's going to dominate this world. Kim Kardashian for Halloween wore a reptilian outfit. Many people are saying this is her true form. Maybe she is a reptilian. This looks very realistic. However, reptilians do not exist. There is a region within the human brain that is called the brainstem, which is also known as the reptilian brain. You use this part of the brain when you're in a survival state, fight or flight, eating and breathing. Essentially, this part of the brain does not think. It's always scanning the environment for food, threats, or even reproduction. This aspect of our brain is the lower mind, our animal self. Reptilians do not exist. Reptilians do not rule the world. But the reptilian brain at this moment in time is conquering human consciousness as a collective. Modern society only thinks about reproduction, food, and surviving. We are all stuck in fear and using this part of our food has been sexualized. Why is it we cut out sausages in this shape and then place them in between 2 buns? Or placing a burger in between 2 buns. They are sexualizing foods to make them more attractive. They do this because sexual emotions are the most powerful emotions a human can feel. It's written in our DNA to reproduce. They know that most of the population have no sexual control. I think it's sickening that we live in a society that pushes poison through sexual desire, I shouldn't have to teach you these things I'm about to tell you. Each one of these centers are mini brains. You can think with them. They have consciousness. When you are hungry and you eat, you are acting according to the gut consciousness. Body is a reflection of the lower self, the lower half, and the higher self. The spine is the stairway to heaven. We must climb our spine to raise our consciousness. We need to stop eating and lusting and turn to expansion of the mind, knowledge, and spirituality. We need to climb the pyramid to higher consciousness. You have an inner, invisible world, spirit, and an external, material world, the body. The Matrix is designed to keep you looking outside yourself and never looking at your internal spiritual world. You don't need food, you need charging. There are many different ways you can charge the body, like grounding or standing next to trees. You are a biological battery. When you feel hungry, this is not hunger. It's your body getting rid of waste from the colon. It's important that you fast. After 48 hours of fasting, your body starts to produce stem cells to regenerate itself. Your body will start to eat itself and kill all the bad cells. The human body is an electromagnetic technological machine. Every cell in your body conducts electricity. You need electrical food that's grown under the electric sun because you are an electrical battery. The sun's electric power is crystallized within the food. You are a light being, a hue meaning light and a man meaning manifested. You are light manifested. This is real food. You need electric food to charge your electric body. You don't need dead flesh. This is why you get charged in a court, because you're an electric battery. And when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell. This field shows sickness before your physical body is actually sick. The strength of your field has a correlation with your health. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. You need positive thoughts and emotions. Lucifer is Venus. Lucifer in the Bible is the son of the morning, or the morning star. Just before the sunrise every morning, Venus shows up. Venus is the morning star. The 7 planets are 7 spiritual forces that create the physical universe. Saturn rules the roots. The sun rules the stem. Jupiter rules the fruit. Mercury is the messenger, the intelligence behind the tree. The moon governs the leaves. And Venus governs the beauty, the looks, and the smell of the tree. That's why the sigil of Lucifer is the visual field, because Lucifer or Venus governs the visual aspect of reality. That's why he's known as the light bearer or the false light. Because this world is the false reality, the false light. And the false light can trick you into materialism, pulling you away from your true spiritual form. Lucifer is a metaphor about your consciousness falling for the material plane. Physical world is a veil which can turn you evil, because you are not from here. The Matrix is keeping you in love with the material plane, which leaves you feeling soulless. And you have 5 fingers for the 5 elements. The skull corresponds with the elements. The jaw represents the earth. Water goes on top of the earth in the mouth. Air goes through the nose, fire is light in the eyes, and spirit is the 3rd eye. The 4 physical elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether or spirit. 5 points on the body for the 5 elements. Ether or spirit is the base of all physical matter. The 4 elements are the 4 vibrational states of the ether. It's the most important one, and that's why it's always on the top. That's why the middle finger is swearing, because they hid the ether. Satanic people turn this upside down to put spirit on the bottom, because they are materialists. They represent Saturn. This symbol is not evil. The word scared is sacred for a reason. Red fruit is for energy and vitality. Purple and blue fruit is for relaxation because it's high in antioxidants. Green fruit is for the digestive system and detoxification. Orange and yellow is for the brain. Whatever feeling you have is your internal guidance system. And if you know the colors of food, you can use this for your advantage. Your pits is not meant to smell. Your breath is not meant to smell. You're not meant to have runny noses. You're not meant to have smelly farts or smelly poos. This is all unnatural food seeping through your skin. We all have a natural odor for our bodies. However, we should not be smelling, and it should not smell horrible. If you have any of these signs, you need to go on a fruit-only cleanse for at least a month and start to fast and remove all of this toxic waste within the body. If you are not removing waste from the body, it means it's accumulating within the body, and accumulated waste can turn into diseases. If you are eating 3 times a day, you should be going to the toilet 3 times a day. If not, it is accumulating and building waste within the body. If you smoke tobacco, you're addicted to the spirit of tobacco. That spirit has control over your consciousness. Smoking is witchcraft. Every plant has a spirit, a consciousness. Burning the plant releases the essence, the spirit of that plant. Inhaling the smoke is inhaling the spirit of that plant, which is infusing that consciousness with yours and making you become high. Witchcraft is not evil. It can be used for good and bad. Smoking the devil's lettuce can be used for good and bad. You invoke the spirit of the plant. If you smoke lettuce with a bad mindset, you're invoking anxiety spirit. If you smoke with a positive, high vibrational mindset, you open your consciousness. You are the magician. You are the invoker of the spirit. Smoking plants with no self-control will invoke the spirit to control you. If you're going to smoke lettuce, use it to meditate and access deep meditation, or use it in ritual to reprogram your subconscious. Whatever you do, never smoke on a full moon, and stop using it to escape reality. Use it to open up your consciousness or to reflect on your life and access deep thought. Doing it every day will just make you lazy and you'll get nowhere in life. Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governmentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. My God! Wow! Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U, to teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create three-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition. Your body is a temple. These Egyptian temples were not for worship. These temples were 3D schools which communicated to the student through a sophisticated language of symbols, volumes, and proportions, revealing ancient wisdom. They started their journey in the entrance, which represents the heels, because the temples were built in the human form, because they understood that God is within man, implying that man embodies the universe. The same principles that govern man are also the same governing the universe. It was a school teaching mental and spiritual ascension, to go from matter to spirit, from heel hell to head heaven. That's why the entrance is at the heels, representing the physical plane, the physical self, the lower carnal mind. The body wants the physical pleasures. Then raising up through the symbolism in these rooms up to the head heaven, which is the spiritual place. It is the spinal column that is the stairway to heaven. The Bible even talks about this, but you're just not reading it correctly. The word Yahweh means I am. Jesus in French is I am. Jesus in Latin is you are us. Be still and know that I am God. It's the I am within you is God. I am the light of the world. You project your own reality. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are a fractal of the consciousness of the universe, which is God. Satan represents your lower carnal mind. Freemasons wear this symbol, which is the same symbol for Gmail. The G is the Masonic G. The M is for the mother, because the woman holds a portal, a stargate into the physical world. That's why they wear it in the genital area. The mother makes you into matter, all M's. Once you are made into matter in the womb, she then delivers the male. Every single one of us came through the mother into the physical world. That's why they're so important. Feminine, nin is 9. Masculine, lin is line. 1 and 9 adds up to 10, which is the binary code of all creation. 0 is the cosmic womb. 1 is the masculine pillar. These are the only two numbers that truly exist. That's why man adds up to 10, and so does Adam, because we are made in perfection with the numbers. 6, 9. 6 is physical matter, the cube. 9 is spirit, spirit and matter combined. The woman combines your spirit with your physical body. If you feel lost and don't understand, did you know the sun setting is the symbol for Libra? And the scales of Libra represent the balancing of the sun between the summer and the winter. A yearly cycle is a daily cycle. Spring is the morning, summer is midday, Libra is the evening, winter is the nighttime. And did you know your body is ruled by the zodiac signs? Libra rules your core, and the muscles in your core help anchoring your center of gravity, which gives you the ability to balance yourself, just like how Libra is the balancing scales. There's no way this is all just a coincidence. This is evidence that we live in a beautifully designed world. That the sun's rhythm and balance manifested in your body as the balancing. Alcohol means body-eating spirit, al-Kul in Arabic. Vodka is called spirit. Jinn is a jinn, which is another type of spirit in witchcraft. This is where we get the word jinx from. When you jinx something, it means bad luck, because they hide the spiritual planes from you. They want you to believe everything is just physical. Consuming alcohol destroys the connection between your etheric body and allows spiritual entities to attack your chakra system. Alcohol destroys brain cells, which weakens the connection between your mind and brain. All religions condemn alcohol because it originates from witchcraft. When you are really drunk and you don't know what you're doing, this is when you are fully possessed. This stuff is real, people. If you have the ability to astral project, you can literally see these entities for yourself. These open your mind. This attacks you spiritually. Why do you think these are illegal and this is legal? You need to understand the simulation. Everything you feel is not real, and everything you see is an illusion. Everything you're experiencing is a simulation produced by your nervous system. This laptop is not solid, it's just a bunch of atoms placed together. And the reason my finger doesn't go through the laptop is the electrical fields of the atoms in the laptop are repelling the electrical fields in my finger. What you feel when touching something is your nervous system decoding the electrical waves that you've come into contact with. You're not feeling the external world. You're feeling electrical impulses decoded by your brain. They'll never tell you this, but your brain is an energy decelerator. Everything outside of you is energy. What you see is your brain slowing down this energy outside of you into a visual image that you can perceive. Everything outside of you is fake. The only thing that is real is your consciousness. Material world trick, matrix. Hindus call this Maya, the illusion of the world. Kabbalists call the world the veil that hides your soul. And the reason why the world's so lost and depressed today, because we're looking for ourselves in the outer world. None of the short-term pleasures that the material world offers can ever satisfy your soul. True happiness comes from within. Stop seeking validation in your outer reality. Go within yourself and find happiness within. The solution to the world is meditation. Breakfast is break fast because they don't want you fasting to regenerate your body. So they programmed you to eat dense food in the morning. And then when you're tired by 10 p.m, you need poison coffee for more energy. All you need to do is to fast till 2 p.m. Then have fruit or a smoothie, something easy on the digestive system. 60% of your energy goes to the digestive system. So when you fast, this energy can be redirected into regenerating your body and producing stem cells. Your body's encoded with self-regenerating technology. That's why you cut yourself, it heals automatically. It's the same with illness. Your body knows how to heal the illness you have. You just have to move out of your acidic environment to an alkaline environment. So your body doesn't waste its time fighting off the toxic food you place in. Instead, it can redirect this energy into healing the body. Healing is not an overnight process. It takes months of an alkaline diet and fasting every week, and using these herbs to detoxify your temple. Meat, dairy, and these unnatural foods all cause inflammation in your body. Carrots are not healthy. Potatoes are not healthy. Broccoli and white rice, these things are all unnatural and made by humans. Your body only recognizes what was here on the day of creation, such as apples, figs, pears, strawberries, and you do not see into reality. The eyes are black holes. They suck in the light in the images produced at the back of the brain called the visual cortex. This is because the universe is a mental projection, and it's the number one law in the Kabbalion, that all is mind, the universe is mental. You never actually feel the external world. When you touch something, this is your brain's interpretation of electrical signals on your nervous system. You touch, taste, smell, hear, and see with your brain. You're not in the world. The world is being simulated from the brain and the body. It's a piece of technology. Your body is the earth. The sun is your soul. The moon represents your mind. Your body is an advanced VR headset which produces a simulation. You are the universal mind, the observer behind your thoughts, emotions, and senses. There is only one of us in the universe, and that is God. The one consciousness is what gives life to every single living life form. There is only one consciousness, there is only one God, and there is only one number, which is the number 1, which is the letter I. The I am within you is the universal consciousness, which is God. Government, they govern your ment, your mind. Your environment is a product of your mind, and the elements exist in your mind, and they advertise to your ment, your mind. There is not one thing you can't think of. Every possibility exists in the mind. The mind is an infinite metaphysical consciousness. Your brain are living in the black cube matrix of Saturn. There is a deep meaning behind these black cubes you see in every major city. On the North Pole of Saturn, there is a hexagon, which is a cube. In your external reality, Saturn rules the roots of trees, bones, and underlying frameworks. Saturn is the god of conditions and limitations. This is why he's known as the god of time, because time is a limitation. Your physical body is a limitation for your infinite mind. Mind can project into the future and go backwards into the past. Your body cannot, because it's stuck to the three-dimensional world. The mind can expand into infinite fields of thought. There is nothing impossible with your mind. The energy of Saturn is being abused to condition your consciousness into a physical low state, trapping your mind in a three-dimensional way of thinking. Do this through religion, hence why all religions have symbolism of Saturn. They condition your mind through the educational system, hence why you wear a black cube on your head. This is why a judge wears a black robe to enforce limitation and laws. Black represents Saturn. It represents dense, cold matter and limitation. Clothes are magnetic. Every cell in your body has a magnetic field. Everything is made out of electromagnetic fields. This is the true model of the atom. The clothes you wear carry magnetic energy. This is the reason why all of the ancients only wore linen robes, because the frequency of natural fabrics are very high. These are not just fabrics, they are frequency, they are vibrational energy. Synthetic fabrics lower your frequency, and they leak microplastics into the pores in your skin. The Egyptians, Sumerians, Mayans all wore jewelry because they understood the frequency of metals. By wearing jewelry in certain places, we are enhancing the energy flow in the meridian in that area of the body. If we have wrist pain, we can wear copper around the wrist, which will enhance the frequency. Cells create organs, the organs create systems, and the system creates the body. Every cell, every organ, and every system has its own magnetic field, and this creates the overall magnetic field. That's why you have an anatomy. You are a giant atom. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying I wear linen all the time, but maybe this is something that we should consider. Our consciousness, our energy is affected. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into the temple of God. Then it goes to say in Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? This is why the side of your head's called a temple, because the kingdom of God is within you. Christians aren't even following the word of Jesus, they're following the word of the church. Jesus tells you to meditate. When you pray, enter into the inner chamber and shut the door. The inner chamber is the inner part of your brain, your mind. Shutting the door is turning off the mind. Jesus says take no thought 5 times in Matthew chapter 6. Because you have 5 senses. Jesus is telling you to turn off the 5 senses and meditate. When you turn off the body and thought, other aspects of your consciousness can open up and connect with God. Jesus was a mystic telling you to go within yourself, not a God to worship. The church is the biggest scam. No man in the sky will ever save you. The devil does not exist. This book will literally... You don't need food, you need charging. There are many different ways you can charge the body, like grounding or standing next to trees. You are a biological battery. When you feel hungry, this is not hunger. It's your body getting rid of waste from the colon. It's important that you fast. After 48 hours of fasting, your body starts to produce stem cells to regenerate itself. Your body will start to eat itself and kill all the bad cells. The human body is an electromagnetic technological machine. Every cell in your body conducts electricity. You need electrical food that's grown under the electric sun because you are an electrical battery. The sun's electric power is crystallized within the food. You are a light being, a hue meaning light and a man meaning manifested. You are light manifested. This is real food. You need electric food to charge your electric body. You don't need dead flesh. This is why you get charged in a court, because you're an electric battery. And when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell. This field shows sickness before your physical body is actually sick. The strength of your field has a correlation with your health. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. You need positive thoughts and emotions to strengthen this field. Did you know baptism is a scam? to trick you and to make you believe that you're going to be saved. And the true baptism happens within you. We have 4 stages of human consciousness. Earth, stage 1. This is when we're in a survival state of consciousness. Water, stage 2. The truth in cleansing. Dunking your head in water is symbolic for cleansing yourself from the survival animalistic state. And once we've cleansed ourselves, we have the fire stage, the awakening, the spiritual awakening. Then once we awaken, we go to the air, stage 4 of self-mastery. Dunking your head in water will not save you from anything. You must save yourself from the lower mind, from the animalistic state of consciousness. Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, Corinthians 15:50. It means your body cannot enter the kingdom of God. Your emotions, spirit, and mind can, which means heaven and hell is a mind state, not a real place. Theologians 4:17, you meet the Lord in the air. You meet the Lord in the highest stage of consciousness, the mind, the air, the self-mastery. No man in the sky going to save you. Religion want you to believe this so you give away your power. They don't want you mastering yourself. They want you weak. Find the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2 in my bio.